Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astrology Victoria, today with your host, Tatiana. And we are going to be talking about the astrology of Monday the 18th all the way through Sunday the 24th of July. As a continuation of our past week, if you did not see the past week's video, I always recommend you watch, just because the energy keeps moving and flowing and the themes keep active as things move. We will be looking to start the week with I'm going to reiterate a little bit what the energy of Cancer is about, because we start the week with Venus ingressing into Cancer while the Sun's still in Cancer and Mercury is about to leave Cancer. And this, to me, is an opportunity to go back within and speak about family or to family. Go back in time and dig into what things have been maybe going on in your family that have not been dealt or resolved. Time for reminiscence. And it could be like beautiful times, but it could also be an opportunity to change and shift family dynamics or very ingrained family patterns. Or not even just your family, it could be the opportunity to dig deep into the roots of the family tree and see what has caused certain behaviors in your family. And your family is not just your mom and dad and, siblings. It's everything that came before. Your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents. And if you could trace back into that lineage, you could possibly find treasures of things that are yet to be resolved and uncovered and spoken about. It's very interesting that in my personal life, I am working with this lineage energy, not only because I'm conscious of the support of this week's energy and in general, this possibly July, August month to be more tending to this sense of safety and home, and not just a physical home, but the inner home that creates the outer home or sense of safety and security in the world. So I've been working with this through a dance piece that I'm creating for a performance in October, which is tracing back lineage. And so many things have come up as my dear friend who is coaching me into getting this piece together, and as part of the creative team, she has been asking me all these questions. And as I have these conversations, Mercury, Sun, in Cancer, about all the emotional moon stuff, because the moon rules Cancer. So it's back to the sense of safety and emotional safety. And as I get all these questions, I've been experiencing a lot of emotion around things that are so, far back. And I have been having memories of things that are not even from this incarnation, if you believe in reincarnation, or it could be memories of the lineage that I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm digging deep, and the reason for the digging deep, I gotta tell you, is because Mercury, Sun, where we can express, talk, and, verbalize what's inside of us, it's opposing Pluto. And when the Sun opposes Pluto, this can be very challenging to our sense of self or identity, or the identity we think or thought we had that has been patterned by our family dynamics, by our family tree. So it might be bringing a lot of that out. And if we do it consciously, it should not be a painful process. However, if it's unconscious, especially people that are in the last degrees of Cancer and first degrees of Leo, like your birthday is around, this time of the year, and you're having a solar return, you are having a Pluto transit to your sun, which will definitely be questioning your whole power dynamics around your own identity. And you might find figures of authority and power completely destroying your ego. This is an ego shedding, a need to relinquish control at all costs. Otherwise, what do we find? People controlling us, so that we can see, because it's an opposition. In opposition, usually it's not something that it's inside of me, it's something outside of me that wants to show me things I have inside of me that I need to let go of, shed, and completely overhaul, compost, completely transform, which is Pluto, is a complete alchemizing of energy. So if there's still behaviors, patterns associated to how we express in the world and how we come out in the world, which is the sun, that are still determined by family dynamics, well, this is the time, my friend, to look at those dynamics. If something's not going well in your life, for whatever reason, you're still experiencing certain things that are not absolutely fulfilling to your soul well, what's going on there? What are those family dynamics? And I'm going to tell you another very serendipitous story around this. I work with a fabulous counselor and spiritual guide as a translator for her and certain of her clients here in Canada. And we were working with a client whose session was particularly around the family tree. And then my beautiful counselor, Laura, who I'm just praising forever and ever for her magnificent job on this earth, she went on to explaining why we carry certain genetic material that comes from experiences that our ancestors had, and suddenly it gets transmitted over generations. For example, as an illness or something that 3 or 4 generations past, keeps showing up. And the reason why let's say the tree trunk, like back in the day, creates branches is to seek evolution of those things that happened, to seek evolution, to transform, move forward. So if something happened, let's say in this case, there was this explanation about a family dynamic where something happened in a family where there was some poisoning, chemical poisoning at a certain, many years back, like four generations back or something like that. And then 4 generations forward, there's the family kept inheriting, some siblings would inherit physical physical ailments and difficulties, and the other one would experience mental health issues, and this kept going on, skipping generations. And if there's not a conscious healing done to that, the biology will keep seeking more incarnations or more people to resolve this. Otherwise, it just keeps perpetuating. So when somebody goes, oh my God, why do I need to heal or transform this in my life? And what can I do? And look back into where it originated, then the healing occurs. And that issue doesn't get passed on to future generations. And that's speaking from the point of view of biology. And the other thing is, at a spiritual level, also the contracts that we have with our soul family can come from, in the timelessness of the soul level or the soul dimension, because there's no time. But at the earth level, it could be like hundreds of years of agreements where families or soul dynamics want to come to experience something as dynamics in order to transform. So there is a saying that goes, or I believe that I do believe and stand behind, that we do choose when we incarnate in this physical body, we choose our family. And the reason why we choose our family is to experience what we need to experience in order to fulfill whatever our soul has desired to experience. And that goes from the magnificent incarnations in beautiful, loving families to really difficult startups or really difficult karmic entanglements. And we may say, but why? Why me? Why me? At a soul level, if we could see, if we could understand that the soul has a plan, that it has an evolutionary plan. And this is what astrology also shows us, particularly with Pluto in your natal chart. And if you don't know about this and you definitely would like to know what is it that you're evolving in this life, you can contact me and we can look at that, because we will look at your Pluto and see what are those dynamics that we're carrying and we're needing to evolve in this lifetime. And because we incarnate with these dynamics and with these families and with these siblings and with these genetics, when we're conscious and do complete coherent healing, there's a huge opportunity not only to heal yourself, to even heal physical ailments that you might think are chronic, mental illnesses, or even emotional stuff. And then that creates a different experience of your life. And this is the opportunity that this time is giving us. This energy, if you harness it, oh my God, could be like leaps and bounds into a complete new you, because the sun is in Cancer and moving into Leo, which will be a complete different self-expression as well. So this week particularly is a good week for that. Good week for family constellations, good week for gathering with your family and talking about family tree or family histories. Yes, if it's hard and you haven't maybe made peace with a member of your family, maybe this is a time to summon that courage, and we have, especially at the beginning of the week, we still have, we have the moon in Aries, where there could be like, okay, a dynamic energy, pushing that courage forward and make that call. Yes, as uncomfortable as it may be. Look how beautiful things can be when forgiveness happens in a family, when there is true forgiveness of our past, even of things that we might have thought unforgivable. When we open our hearts, and now this is the next thing I'm going to talk about, because this is also trining Neptune. This Sun Mercury opposition Pluto is trining Neptune. And this is when, if we open our hearts to a higher purpose of why we're here, and we allow that energy, that information that is timeless, that comes from a place that we can't even really see, because Neptune is those other dimensions, the invisible. But we trust that there is a divine plan. There is a reason for everything that's happening in the world. And yes, the world is going crazy, and we'll talk about this again further in the week. But when we take that connection to something bigger and use that energy of trusting that everything is here for our evolution, then the healing can occur. and it can be very powerful. And the healing is not only you healing. When you do this, it's like you're helping your whole family tree to heal its roots and to heal the branches, meaning healing the past generations at a spiritual level and healing the future generations so that they don't need to carry any more burdens of family dynamics. And this is the opportunity. This is a beautiful window to do it. What happens if you don't do it? Nothing. We'll always get opportunities time and again. But when we miss windows of opportunity, it's like, like this is it. This is a time where you could definitely have a huge breakthroughs and releasing things on our identity that are really no longer supporting anything in our evolution. And the thing with Pluto is that, well, Pluto will do it whether you like it or not. It's going to happen. So it's like, you know, why not just do it consciously and go there and see the shadow and see the pain and see the big elephant in the room that sometimes lies in our families with courage, you know, and with compassion and with grace. You know, as Venus enters Cancer on a more like superficial level, we might be enjoying Venus pleasure, right? Enjoying being at home, enjoying a homemade meal, enjoying decorating our house, enjoying, you know, beautiful things. And with Neptune in the mix, we could be enjoying music, dance, creativity, beautiful time to create things. And with the square to Neptune, like, is still a little bit active. I hope this week was not too, you know, we were not swept by Prince Charming and now you're disappointed because it's not what you thought. Remember, with the squares to Neptune, it's beautiful to experiment with fantasy and just leave it at that. Fantasy and fiction, you know, because we need doses of reality when things are too good to be true and everything looks so magical. So let the magic be part of an artistic expression, for instance, and leave it at that. And that could be beautiful. Maybe create a piece of art or writing, or, you know, something that elevates your soul, or even make, you know what, something beautiful could be like making a beautiful art piece of like your family tree and putting your family tree where it belongs and in its order from its roots, and maybe remembering that, maybe doing an activity with your family. I don't know, get creative. These are just all tools and suggestions for harnessing this energy and making it into something very powerful. So whoa, that was jam-packed of info because this is how we're kicking off the week, and this energy just keeps moving. However, and as much as the sun's still conjuncting Mercury and we're still having these dynamics, the energy might be a little bit changing during the week because Mercury is going to move into Leo. And the Leo energy is a very positive, expressive energy. La la, bling bling, talking, expressing, self-expression. It's in the makings here. All the while still keeping, you know, this into consideration that the self-expression, or maybe the truth that may come from your being around what you are, who you are, and talking about lineage, who are you? Where did you come from? But who are you? You are your family and your lineage, but you are also your own being and your identity and your soul blueprint. And this is why you want to know your own astrology. So to understand who you are. It's so, yeah, the sun moving into Leo, and we're going to look a little bit at the Leo archetype. You see, the Leo archetype, for those who are not very familiar with it, it's the quintessential sun, you know, Leo ruled by the sun, is the self-expression, is the most positive expression of self. And it could be seen as self-ish or self-centered in its shadow But in its light, it's like, this is me. And I am a unique human being with my unique, graceful gifts for expression and shining bright like the sun. Everybody sees the sun, and a healthy Leo and the energy of Leo brings out these sunny qualities. And if you are a Leo, you might, relate, unless you have very difficult aspects to your sun. It's like fun and a little bit gregarious as well. It's like the benevolent king who wants everybody to shine and who takes their place, who knows their worth and their value. This is a lot of the Leo archetype knows the value of self. So and shows it, So that's a little bit the energy we will be entering in this coming month as Leo, the sun enters Leo. Now, there are going to be some, let's see, where are we? Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday, Thursday, midweek. Especially if you're a Taurus, Taurus, Scorpio, maybe all the fixed signs, Leo or Aquarius. Anyone having points, planets, or your birthday in Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and particularly Taurus at mostly the end degrees, like mid Taurus. Your life might be like being completely overhauled and like shaken. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the moon, because the moon transiting Taurus through this week, between the Mars energy of action, defense, getting resources, Uranus shaking the ground, and literally when in mundane astrology, we could be seeing big shakeups now soon coming. Again, the ground that shakes could be literal earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, things being so rigid with Saturn that when Uranus shakes, it will break it. It's like having something that is not flexible, and when you break it, it's broken. You can't put it back together. It didn't bend, it broke. And when it breaks, that's it. It's gone. I'm thinking of something like glass, for instance. You smash it, it's gone. That's that energy of Uranus, Mars, square Saturn. And with the moon in there, what are the emotions associated to that? Could be difficult emotions, could be feeling that our worlds, our survival is threatened. That could be part of it. Could be that everything is getting harder and more difficult. And I wanted to mention in this video how, for example, the situation in the Netherlands with the farmers, and in Sri Lanka with all these riots, food shortages, people going hours online to get gas. There's, and we're seeing it already in certain countries as the archetypal expression. So if you haven't, researched this, like, see what's going on in Sri Lanka. That's like the absolute archetype of this combination here with the Saturn. That's it. It's the riots. It's the royal family or the governing family of Sri Lanka fleeing the country because there was the storming. There's the storming of the government house, and people are like riots. And I always, mention that Uranus Mars is a little bit the energy of French Revolution type or Bolshevik Revolution type, where that's it, especially if it's, in relationship with a Saturn. It's this like tension, and this is it. This is it. Boom, kaboom. And then, headless chickens running everywhere. And that's Uranus, this instability, this like not knowing, everything's shifting and changing, it's fast, and we don't know how it happened, when it happened, it just stormed, and there's all this anger and so this has been showing up. And why we're talking about farmers, because it's Taurus. And yes, remember that the greater plan for this whole upheaval is not to get the earth to be starving and to get people, to make humanity disappear. The evolutionary intent is for us to go back into right relationship with the earth. How conscious are we of that? Right? Are you conscious of how much waste you're creating? Are you conscious of how you're treating the earth? Are you conscious of this? Well, start getting conscious, because the people that are getting conscious, they might not be feeling the kick. You might be feeling, well, the push to action, but not necessarily the kick. But if somebody in the world feels the kick, you will feel it. We're all connected. We're all one, really. And another way, and this is a little tool that I wanted to give you as well, if we want to help this energetically speaking, because maybe you cannot physically do anything about something that's in another country or another continent. However, we can help shift the frequency or energy around these upheavals and the suffering, because it is true suffering. And some humans are suffering deeply right now. A way to help is to go within yourself, even for 5 minutes. And if we could do this whole week, and why this whole week? Because this is gonna get harsher and harsher as Mars, gets closer and closer to Uranus. Mars is like creeping into Uranus, and the moon is going to be involved there. So there is a lot of possible emotion or shaking of the family tree again when the moon is in Taurus, and we have this opportunity to heal world dynamics. Because our family is not just our families, it's our global family. And a way to help it is to go within 5 minutes every day of this week. If you can, close your eyes, take deep breaths, ground yourself. Maybe let's just do it together. So, and that way I will just end this video here. We're gonna breathe together. So close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And allow your body to relax. Uncross your feet, put your feet on the ground, and visualize, if you can, a column of white light flowing from the top of your head all the way down to the feet and anchoring inside the heart of the planet, whatever that looks for you. You can imagine it as a crystal that is in the middle of the earth, or a beautiful subterranean lake, however you want to imagine it. And as you breathe, feel how your heart softens. Bring into your awareness something that you're super grateful for. And it could be as simple as the food you ate today. Seeing the glass half full. Instead of all the problems I have, what are all the blessings I have today? A comfortable bed, a roof over my head, or even a piece of bread to eat. Oh my gosh, that is already something. And with that in your heart, and allowing that gratitude to expand through all of your being, I would invite you now to visualize the planet Earth floating in space. And visualize enveloping this earth in a soothing, beautiful pink light. Soothing the pain, soothing the anger. And imagine that that light that is all around the earth goes inside the earth and everything in it, including all plants, crystals, animals, rocks, people, material things. And let's just soothe whatever is very harsh at the moment. Sending loving, soothing pink energy, which is loving and healing. You can even imagine that there is a shower of rose petals covering the earth. And I would recommend also, maybe if you can, use some rose essential oil every day this week, and you can put it on your wrist and on your forehead. You may use that rose oil also to soothe the processes, soothing, using the gentle yin energy of Cancer and the yin energy of Taurus, and at its best. And now just come back and open your eyes and visualize that beautiful earth all enveloped in pink. I felt called to do this today. Maybe not so much giving tons and tons of info, but giving you tools so that you can do something practical about what's going on. The tools are: talk to your family, summon the courage, do some creative activity, gather with family members, do family constellations if you can, and soothe the planet. Help the planet soothe with your intention. That intention travels, like frequency travels in dimensional fields that we don't see. And that's why Neptune, right? Neptune here, we don't see it, but it's there. Like microwaves, your frequency and thought waves are also there and have an impact. Know this. And there is science behind this as well. Just go and look at the Heart Math Institute research and other research around, plants, and, there's a lot to this. So I'm just going to end the video here because I feel that this week, that's a handful. Yeah, if you can commit to 5 minutes of doing that little meditation for yourself with some soothing music. And if you'd like, in the description box, I will leave a link to some of my music, which is meditation music and, using frequencies and other music. Let's say inspirational music, if you so wish to. That's going to be available there. It's on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere. So it's easy to find. Yeah, and I'll leave you there with blessings for this week. May your heart be soothed. May your family be free, be healed. And I love you. Leave me comments, like, share, subscribe if this helps you. Blessings. Have a beautiful week.